Alright, boom! Welcome to another episode of Lockdown with Sid. I have a really special podcast for you guys. I have a family, an entire family that does Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, from father to mother to brothers. Everyone trains, and I'm here in Bath in the UK, and I'm here with Phoenix on my left, and I've got little Tom on my right, and it's a fascinating story which I wanted to bring to you guys. I'm going to give it to Phoenix, who's also from my school. He's a senior from Doon School, and he's going to talk a little bit about how he got into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and what has he learned from it over the last year or so he's been training.
Yeah, just a little over a year.
Yeah. So please talk to me about, and everyone watching, about how you got into it, how it shaped your life into what it is now.
Well, as a child, I was always very athletic and I was very involved with sporting activities. This was supplemented by the support of my parents. Consequently, going to Doon School, I continued those activities, and of course, there we have the possibility of playing as many games and sports as are on offer at
Yes.
that place. Needless to say, one of my favorite sports was boxing. Ended up as the boxing captain, got the most scientific boxer in school. Continued boxing actually into university, where I captained the college. After which there was a lull in my sporting activities, except for things like squash, a little bit of Merchants Cup football and Merchants Cup hockey, a little cycle polo, but not much intense activity.
Yeah.
And as the years got on, I possibly didn't realize the extent of my level of fitness, or my level of non-fitness. Where I looked at the age of around 50, I'm around 55 now, but at the age of 50 I was looking for a sporting activity which would give me a full contact, intensity of sport, yet less harmful like boxing in terms of striking. And this is where I took my children to start with, to Gracie Baja Path, for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and found the love of sport there through Professor Pache, who's the instructor and stuff like that.
Perfect. So, but it's a good point that you make, that usually, especially people who go to schools like you, we're quite active in school, but once we get out of school, the options are very limited as to what you can do in college, and then once you get a job, which is what I think most people struggle with, how to be active once you've graduated from school. But now going back, I mean, you discovered Jiu-Jitsu right now, but had you discovered it back when you were 18, 19, would you still do it?
I think, in fact, this always reminds me of the cliche where one says, the best time to have done Jiu-Jitsu was for me, say, 50 years ago when I was 5. But then the second best time for me and for everybody else is right now. So I would do it then, I would do it now, and I would also do it when I may be 70 years old.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's fascinating to come and see all the kids training, and Tommy's no exception. With him, we were playing around last week, and I was just playing around with him, like enrolling, and he caught me in an omoplata, and he was like, "Oh, in case you escape, I'll do this to you." And I was like, "Listen, I actually can't escape. It was pretty tight. Remember that?"
Yeah.
So Tommy, tell me about it, man. You know, how old are you?
I'm 11.
He's 11, and you started about a year ago.
About like one, I was the first one who started because
In the family.
yeah, because Sid, my uncle, he was doing it, and then he was blue belt, and then he told us to do it. So then I did it. I started about June
June of last year.
and then it was like 1.5 years.
Nice. So, okay, Tommy, what's your favorite submission?
Probably rear naked choke.
Oh, nice, brutal.
And probably omoplata.
Nice. Oh, because you caught me with it, so of course that's your favorite. And who's your favorite grappler? Like, what are your favorite fighters in the grappling world?
Well, I have favorite practitioners, which is Marcelo Garcia, Carlos Gracie Jr. and Salvo Pace, my professor.
Oh yeah, Yeah, I'm training with Risi Bhabat as well, with Professor Salvo. So you've also competed recently?
I competed in the. Most recent one is the British, which I won, and I had like 2 fights, and I did in one I submitted, and in the second one I won by points. And then before that I did the Naga, which I also won. I had against one person. I had 3 fights, best of 3.
Yeah.
In first one he won, second one I won, third one was a draw. Then 2 minutes were added, and then when the 2 minutes were added, there were like 30 seconds left, and then when there were 30 seconds left, I armbarred him.
Oh wow! So absolutely exciting fight, finishing right at the end,
Yeah.
going down to the wire. All right. So
Naga.
I mean, such a good experience here for a kid who's 10, 11 to start grappling at such a young age, and also competitively. You know, he's fighting at Naga, at the British Open, some of the biggest tournaments in Europe. So I mean, how do you feel when you look at your kids that's so young, who are competing, who are winning? How does it make you feel?
Well, on one hand, of course, it makes me feel quite fantastic that that they're competing, that they're keeping up athletic activities, which I think is the most important thing.
Yeah.
The winning is important, but not the most important. You compete, of course, you compete to win, but you don't practice to win. So you practice, and then you compete. So for me, I'm very proud of them, but I'm more proud of the fact that they keep their athletic activities.
Sure.
And very important for me, as we know in Jiu-Jitsu,
Yeah.
it's about last man standing.
Yeah,
So it's sustaining this continued athletic activity.
Yeah. So one thing that you guys might have noticed, and which I'm noticing right now, is the beautiful blue belt that you're wearing.
Yeah.
So, so the first day I came in, he still had his white belt, 4 stripes. I rode with him. I realized straight away he's not a white belt. And the very next day he gets his blue belt. How did you feel when you got your blue belt?
Well, I think it's very special. You know, it's of course most people say that the biggest thing is getting your white belt, which means beginning jiu-jitsu. But once one has begun jiu-jitsu, I mean, getting my blue belt was not only an honor and an elation, but it was also recognition by my professor, which I value very much. Very importantly at this stage, this blue belt is a result of a lot of sweat, a lot of trying, and lots of jiu-jitsu on the mats. So because these belts are not won easily, it gives that more importance to the belt.
Absolutely. It's so difficult to get the blue belt. And again, we spoke about the scam that happened in India recently.
Yes.
Where blue belts were just handed out left, right, center. The blue belt, I think, is one of the most difficult belts to attain. You earned it. I mean, you started when you were 54, and now you're 55. It took you about a year of hard rolling, and you've gone through again at Risibaha. You've got such monsters here. They're absolute beasts, yeah. So you're rolling with them, you're doing well for yourself, you're defending yourself. So that is, once you get a blue belt like that, it's a blue belt anywhere around the world.
Yes, and it's quite special, just like you said. I mean, there's no shortcut to mat time. And to be very honest, I mean, I've been rolling for a little over a year, but between December and April, I was rolling every single day, twice a day.
Wow.
Because my middle son Benjamin, who
Yes.
you may meet later,
Yeah.
so he's doing the full-time jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. So I actually forgot to mention that, obviously, we've got Tommy with us. We'll also have Ben in part 2. Ben is training full time. He trains morning, evening, 6 days a week essentially. And Suri is the eldest son, and he's trained as well. He's competed as well.
That's right.
So I mean, imagine a household where you come in and there are mats in the living room. You've got all the sons who are training competitively. For me, because I love jiu-jitsu, it's a dream to be in a household like that. You've got Tom you roll with him and you're like, it's a 10-year-old, 11-year-old, but when you start seeing him roll, and it's beautiful. And it's scary also, because when you look back, you look at him and you're like, what's he going to be when he's 18?
That's
How
right.
good is he going to be when he's 18? I don't think he knows how good. It's scary for Ravi. Oh, wow. Okay, so it's moving on. That thought of Tommy when he's 18, we're going to leave that aside. Just moving on. So, what, in terms of your decision to get everyone involved, everyone in your family, was it a conscious decision? Was it a health decision? Was it something that you wanted to do as a group, as a family? What was the overall objective of getting everyone into jiu-jitsu?
Well, again, that's really interesting. Of course, we wanted to do something as a family. We are an athletic family. We like to be very active, physically very active.
Yeah.
Now, Jiu-Jitsu came to us as a solution because I find Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu,
Yeah.
and Tom will also say the same thing, is one of the few sports and the few activities, the few self-defense forms of art that can be done by every person in the family,
Yeah.
from small to big. There is no age bar, there is no weight bar, there is no size bar. Males, females, children, everyone can do it.
Yeah.
This kind of philosophy, and of course the philosophy of Jiu-Jitsu, which has become part of our life, as you see on the mats,
Yeah.
has led us to lead this kind of lifestyle.
No, it's absolutely. I can say it honestly. I've enjoyed and loved staying here, training with the kids, training with yourself. And in part two, we'll go more in detail into the technical aspects of how Ben is doing full time. What are the things that he's working on? And for now, I think Tom is going to return part two. So we're going to have a part two as well with Ben. We're going to return to that. But for now, we have to say thanks to Phoenix and Tommy. And we'll be back in part two with Ben. We'll be talking more about how he does it full time. And do you want to say anything to your fans? Do you have an Instagram handle?
Yeah, follow me at ta.battenberg. Yeah.
Yeah, and he actually has a lot of flips that he does on his trampoline, which are on the Instagram page. And he's also going to start putting some of his fight clips on it,
Yeah.
some techniques that he works on. And then Phoenix here. Pleasure having you here.
Thank you.
And it's been a pleasure for me being here. And yeah, part two we'll have Ben in as well, and it'll be fun.
Yeah, and I say thanks for coming. It was really great to have you.
Thank
Anytime, house is open.
Yeah.
Come and stay with us.
Literally, the house is open. They don't lock the house. The house is open. Cats are coming in. Cats are going out, and it's so much fun. So it's an ideal BJJ home. If you ever want one, this is the place. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Cheers, guys. Thanks a lot.
Bye. Bye. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks, Tommy.
Thank you.
Oh, look at that. You're gonna learn this. Do it. Again. Yeah. All right. All right. See you guys.
Bye.
Okay, guys. Welcome to part two of our podcast, Lockdown with Sid. I've got Ben with me.
Hey guys.
Tommy unfortunately is not well, so he's not coming in. But we've got the master himself with us. Just show us your belt and how many stripes you have. Look at that. Look at that. Look at the number of stripes he has.
This is like kid stripes, because I'm young, so I'm 16 and under, so you get kids belts, because kids need to be graded more often, so they don't lose the interest of jiu-jitsu, so they get more stripes. So I get, for example, I get 4 white stripes, 4 red stripes, and then another 3 black stripes. Then I move on to my other belt.
Which is, fantastic. Like for kids, a lot of times in jiu-jitsu we talk about getting a blue belt, but the kids, I think below 16, they can't get blue belt, no? Usually they don't.
Yeah, usually the age limit of blue belt is 16. And like with the kids, it's like you're supposed to get graded each month. So each month you're supposed to get a stripe. So it takes you around a year to get each belt.
Which is fair enough. It's good. It gives you time to hone your skills, and when you do become an adult and you do start competing with the grown-ups, you've been training for years. You got so many stripes. I love the concept. And again, Ben, he's Phoenix's middle child. He's training BJJ full time, and at that age, and I've rolled with this guy. Yeah. He's a monster. Yeah. Like it's very difficult, and he's one of those fancy guys who does all the inversion games. Difficult to pass his guard. We've got Mario, who we had in the podcast earlier. He struggled to pass Ben's guard the other day. So this guy, when he turns 18, is going to be the next Keenan. Yeah. So anyway, so you're training full time, which is which is awesome. What aspect of jiu-jitsu do you like? Like, what do you like about training? What got you into it?
So actually what got me into this is actually quite interesting because my cousin, he's also named Sid, well, sort of my cousin. Used to live in London, then he moved here to live with us. He lived with us so that's actually what
So he
got
introduced you.
Yeah, he introduced me to Jiu-Jitsu, and that's what got me and my whole family into Jiu-Jitsu. And he lived with us for a year or so, and then he moved back to India.
Okay. So in terms of when you're actually training, what aspect of it did you like the most? What part of grappling did you like?
I like to enjoy my how I like to play Jiu-Jitsu. So I don't like to just go full on and get nothing out of it. I like to go easy, have a good roll.
So with Ben, like when I roll with Ben, it's as I said, he likes the inversion game, he likes a lot of things. So we talk a lot about water and rock. You know, when you have rock, you know, solid, strong wrestler, you go head on with the rock, you're always gonna get hurt. But if you be fluid like water, like Bruce Lee said, you go around the problem, you go around the rock, which is what Ben does. When you roll with him, you go hard at him. He's flowing. He's got like 5 legs. It seems when you're rolling with him. So I guess that's what you like. You like the fact that it's fluid and it's light and it's playful. So tell me something else. Your father spoke a little bit about being homeschooled. And you doing ICP.
Yeah.
What is this ICP concept? And because we don't know it.
ICP stands for Instructor Certification Program. So it's basically you pay $150
Whatever, a certain amount you pay.
Yeah, you pay certain amount, and then you get a whole course, like 11 courses, and each course is about different aspects of Jiu-Jitsu, and each course has about 10 to 11 lessons, and at the end there's the lesson quiz. So there's a quiz with 10 questions in it, which asks you about how your lesson was, and you have to get at least 70% and above to pass the quiz.
Okay. So, and those are techniques that you're gonna do, or the lessons are what is it? Is it
Lessons,
techniques?
they're like about how to be an instructor,
How to be instructor.
how to make jiu-jitsu for everyone, how to make jiu-jitsu across the whole world, and how to make jiu-jitsu live and stuff.
Okay. So
Talks
again,
about various things.
So again, like with Ben, I've also been taking part in the kids classes, in the teens classes. So Ben actually teaches the kids class, and I've been there and I've seen him take classes. I mean, I actually have how do I say it? I'm not as patient as Ben. Sometimes with the kids, he's really patient and he takes out time and he shows them things. Sometimes I lose my patience and I start getting a headache, but he's cool as cucumber. Again, I think the fact that you roll so much with bigger guys, heavier guys, and your nature is quite relaxed and laid back.
Yeah.
You're cool with the kids being nuisance. So tell me something, man. This is like we've spoken about other stuff, but who do you like in the grappling world? Who do you like? Like whose style that you gravitate towards?
So I quite like I like many people, but in particular, if you see my style, I quite like Jeff Glover. He just flows.
He's also very fluid, no?
Yeah,
he's very fluid. He's very
fluid,
creative.
He plays. He doesn't go full on. He doesn't care about winning or losing. He just wants to do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, again, guys, the different styles. So when you're, again, this is getting a little nerdy, but if you guys are into jiu-jitsu, you would know when you've rolled, there are those guys who just want to hammer you down, like smash you, and then there are guys who just, you put your power in a certain place and they're not there anymore. So, and that's what Jeff Glover does. That's your style, pretty much. If you watch Jeff Glover, it's very similar. Ben has modeled himself on that. We also have a guy called Kieran, who's your instructor.
Yeah, he's my coach.
He's Ben's coach. He's a purple belt, again at Greasy Bahabat, and very good instructor. We'll try and get a couple of techniques out of him for maybe the next podcast. So tell me, Ben, like what's in the future, man? What are your goals? What are your aspirations?
Well, I'm planning on like going all around the world, competing getting some medals, and after that, as soon as I'm a bit older, maybe about 30, between 30 and 40, around that, I'm gonna start opening up my own. Well, actually, I might probably open up my own school before that, and get like, as soon as I get a lot of people into it, I get myself an instructor. I'll travel a little bit, you know, do
Which is
some
basically
competitions.
living the digital lifestyle.
Yeah.
So guys, again, I forgot to mention, Ben recently competed as well. He competed and
British Open, I completed 3 competitions. One was the Bristol Open, one was the Naga, one was the British.
how did you do?
Bristol Open I got gold, Naga gold, and British gold.
Sure. And he has to think about it. Yeah, I got gold. That one, yeah, I got gold. Yeah, gold. So, bro, awesome having you here. Really appreciate it. I've had a pleasure training with you. This guy, I mean, 5 years from now, he's going to be a name that you'll all know. He'll be coming to, I'm sure, to CrossTrain giving seminars. So, absolutely pleasure having you here. Next time, hopefully, you can get Tommy as well and Suri as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, guys, I mean, are you on Instagram?
Yeah, on Instagram, guys, hit me up.
Give your
eb.battenberg, BATTEEBERG.
I will write it down here so you can see what it is. I'm on CFC Sid. Follow us, subscribe to us, and we'll keep bringing you new content. We'll talk to really fascinating people like we have in this episode. And if you guys have any questions, you can let us know. Follow him.
And Facebook, guys.
Facebook him as well. You wanna?
I've got all the videos of me competing. So if you guys want to watch, I've got the videos and a few photos. I've met Braulio, Vito, and Hodja once. It was good. It was a good day at British.
And one day we'll be taking his autographs and taking photographs with them. So, alright, cheers, bro. Appreciate it.
Same
Thanks.
here.
Hope you guys enjoyed it. See you soon. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.